What's going on, guys, and welcome to another episode of Smash JT. You are looking at the next big thing, apparently. These are official N64 clone consoles coming to us from Hyperkin, the company that brought us the Retron 3, the Retron 5, which actually, that's a really terrible system. Mine broke after like 2 months, and a lot of people's did as well. But they've also made a lot of really good peripherals and controllers and other clone consoles that have done far better. So as far as this is concerned, it is a very exciting prospect, and we're going to dive into exactly what's going on with it. JT. So this article is posted by Hyperkin on LinkedIn. Thank you very much to Metal Jesus Rocks for the heads up on this amazing find. I'm not sure if they gave him the heads up or how he got it, but this is incredible. The N64 clone console is going to be shown off at E3, and right now Hyperkin is just getting a head start on that. Cheers to everyone whose heart beats faster when you remember the good old slumber parties or late night college dorms playing split screen 4-player games in front of an old TV. Yes, I do recall that. Well, folks, I'm really excited to offer you a sneak peek at this new prototype. It's still in early development, but it's solid enough to be eye-catching and perhaps a piece of the craziest news at this year's E3. Well, I will say, I definitely did not see this thing coming, so yes, it does have a chance to wow the crowd if it works as good as people are hoping. While I can't give you any details at the moment, I hope you enjoy the video and are just as excited as I am. Let's take a look at what this video's got. So that's a Hyperkin N64 controller, and this person is playing these games with one hand, apparently because he's filming with the other. It seemingly plays Japanese cartridges just like United States carts, so no region locking, even though the N64 region locking was pretty basic. It was basically just, they had little nubs at the edge that you needed to cut out if you wanted to play Japanese games. So this allows you to play any regions without having to work on physically modifying your N64 console, which is a huge plus. As far as how the games are loaded onto the system, they don't provide any details on that in this. They don't let you know if this is going to be like a dumping the ROM and playing it type thing, like the Retron 5 did with the games, or if it's going to be playing them straight from the cart. They also don't talk about if it's going to work with EverDrives. Right here you get a look at the back. That is an HDMI-out, boys and girls, and with that comes a lot of opportunities with scaling, resolution, color options, frame rate, so many different things that they could dive into in an option menu with an HDMI out on this thing. And depending on the computing power and what it's going to do and what you're able to work with on that, the sky is truly the limit with this thing. I'm trying to keep myself in check and my optimism not too out of whack, because I've been fooled before with some Hyperkin consoles. So on the surface, very exciting. This thing has a ton of potential, but we don't know how much it's going to cost, if it's going to work with every single game in the library, if it's going to work with an EverDrive, if it's going to work with other games like Game Shark and things like that. There's a lot to be figured out with this thing, but here are some pictures of it. It's not that appealing to the eye, but this is still very early on, like they said, so maybe this is not the final design of it. It looks pretty basic, bare bones here. So hoping that they work on the design of it. Hopefully that's not the final look, but just the idea that they're working on a clone console for an N64 is super exciting for a retro nut like myself. As far as the details, they said they don't have any right now. It's funny that they used a Super Smash Bros. Cartridge here that looks like it's been through the laundry 40 times, but apparently it works. Maybe that's a way for them to let us know that, hey, this thing will play whatever condition your cartridge is in. So yeah, that is the N64 clone console, and not very much official information except for pictures of it and the back showing the HDMI out and a power supply. So very exciting, tons of possibilities, something I'll be keeping my eye on and looking at closely at this year's E3. There are a lot of surprises in store for us there, and this one definitely caught me off guard. Did not see this coming, was not even thinking this was in the realm of possibility with computing power today at an affordable price. For a clone console, the N64 is a powerhouse. It is a big problem trying to clone the systems and hardware architecture to be able to play these games without a problem. So while they say it's in the early stages, that may be because they're running into issues with specific games, which is a problem. But if they're able to get all the games up and running on this, that is exciting for me personally, because it'll be a lot easier to capture footage if I can just use one of these with the HDMI out instead of trying to go through the whole system of connecting it through something with an HDMI out so that I'm able to capture the footage the way it is right now. So yes, N64 clone console. The official name looks to be the Ultra Retron. I don't know if that's going to be the final name or just the code name while they're working on the dev kit for it, but right now, the Ultra Retron. I kind of like the sound of it, not gonna lie. It's pretty sweet. Kind of harkens back to the Ultra 64, the original name of the N64. So I see what they're going for. I hope they stick with that name, and I hope they work on the outer shell of this thing, because, man, it is not appealing to the eyes. But hey, if it works with the games and does the job and has an HDMI out, has filters, has options in the menu to change whatever kind of scaling and frames that you want to do with the games, there is a ton of potential this baby's going to have. That's all the information we got right now on this. Again, hopefully more information to come at E3, but since they said it's early, something tells me they're not going to have all the details for this down to the price and what it's going to be able to do at E3. We might be waiting a little bit longer for that. But who knows? They surprised us early with this. Maybe they'll surprise us at E3 with early information on it. I do need to say that it is odd that the actual footage that they're showing here is like a dude by himself playing one-handed with these games while recording with the other hand. You would think they're working so hard in the background to make this thing and put it together, and it's in early development. You'd think he would have had someone else hold a camera while he was able to play it instead of do it by himself. That's just a very strange thing to do. It's almost like this was rushed out to get people to see it, or this is kind of like leaked footage. It's just so strange how it's presented. It's very weird. It's very weird. But be that as it may, this news is extremely exciting. The N64 is my favorite console of all time, and I know I get ragged on a lot for that, but I'm working on a complete collection. I have like 85% of it, and it's a great system. Tons of great heavy hitter games, and yeah, a lot of crap games as well with it. But the heavy hitters on the N64 were so great, so beyond magnificent for the day, and may not have aged as well as earlier PS1, PS2 games. They're still good. There's still a charm to them when you look at games like Mario 64 and Zelda, and then you go over to other games like Killer Instinct and Wave Race and Pilot Wings and Mario Kart 64, which is still my favorite Mario Kart game. There's just so many epic experiences on that console, and with this clone console, there's a lot of possibilities, like I said, with it. It almost makes me wonder if this thing does come out fairly soon, if it's going to impact Nintendo's decision at all to move forward with an N64 Mini before something else gains too much steam. Maybe it doesn't have any impact at all on it, but I'm just spitballing here. There's a lot to take in with this, and it's exciting no matter how you look at it. Anyways, I'm going to leave it right there, but I'd be very interested to hear what you guys think about the E3's Ultra Retron sneak peek coming from Hyperkin. If this is something that you'd be interested in, or if you don't really trust Hyperkin, or where you stand on this whole situation, if you're all cloned out with consoles, or if you will be day one buying this thing, no matter what it's able to do. Let me know how you feel about it in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, you stay smashing.
Smash J.